When anxiety hits, it sure isn't any fun. Anxiety can feel like a weight on your chest, making it hard for you to breathe. It can be a constant sense of dread, an overwhelming feeling of impending doom. It can make your heart race and your hands shake. Anxiety can make it hard for you to concentrate, to eat, to sleep. It can even make you feel like you're going crazy. It's often all-consuming, making it hard to function in day-to-day life. It's normal to feel anxious from time to time. But if you're feeling constantly anxious, then it's time for a change. So in this video, I'm going to share how I got rid of my anxiety forever with 3 aha moments. I hope that these moments can help you too. My brand of anxiety revolved around being on stage. For most of my life, I've been a professional singer. But there was a time where when I got on stage, I used to have so much anxiety, it felt like I was on fire for the first 45 minutes of the show. My heart felt like it was beating in my throat, and I couldn't breathe properly because of it. On top of that, I would sweat like I was in a sauna turned up to its highest temperature. A sauna! And I didn't really know what was happening. But then I figured out that I was having full-on panic attacks. So for years, I experienced that. I didn't understand what was going on for me, and then it dawned on me. Aha, I probably need to do something about this for myself. I looked into what was happening, and I started by talking to my therapist about it. I also started to read up about panic attacks, and I discovered that my brain was the thing that was causing all of this panic. And once I learned that, I understood that I could take control of this anxiety beast. So all I had to do was tame my brain. No big deal, but I did it. And how I did it was with these 3 aha moments. They are that humans actually have 3 brains, triggers can be rewired, and 2 minutes can change anything. Let's start with your 3 brains. In the 1960s, neuroscientist Paul MacLean came up with a story about the brain in a brand new way that had never really been told before. He pointed out that humans have 3 brains, and the 3 brains are the reptilian brain, the emotional brain, and the rational brain. Each one of these brains plays a different role in our everyday lives. The reptilian brain is the operating system. Now, this is the part of the brain located right at the base of our skulls. It's attached to our spinal column, and this is the thing that controls our temperature, our breathing. It also tells us if we're hungry or horny. Oh, no. Sorry if that got a little weird. It has a few other jobs as well, though. The reptilian brain controls our fight or flight responses. It's our survival center. So it's designed to be lightning fast so it can protect us. So if we're faced with the threat of any kind, like a tiger or a cougar, it releases chemicals immediately to let us know that something must be done. We either fight or we flight. And one more thing, the reptilian brain runs on autopilot and we can't turn it off, or you did. But the second brain has a different function altogether. It's the emotional brain. Think of the second brain as the lizard brain's bathing cap. The emotional brain is where all your emotions are housed. Humans have 6 basic emotions. They are fear, surprise, anger, disgust, joy, and sadness. These extreme emotions can be very easily triggered, and they get triggered all the time. We can easily, for example, get freaked out if we're walking through a graveyard thinking there's ghosts there. We're afraid. And we can also get easily angry or disgusted by someone else's opinions. Name your poison. Politics, beliefs, masks. Emotions are inevitable for us, but they can also be managed. Bad things can happen when your emotional brain gets out of control. But that's where your third brain comes in. Your third brain is your rational brain. Now, this is the biggest part of your brain. It makes up 85% of your brain mass. It's the most powerful part of your brain too. In fact, this is the part of your brain that makes you a human being. It provides you with amazing capabilities like problem solving, creativity, purpose, meaning, relationship management, and also the ability to pursue your goals. This rational brain is the upgrade you got when you were born a human being. This part of your brain is completely adaptable, and you can customize it with a little rewiring, especially when it comes to self-regulation, when your triggers make you anxious. This brings up aha number 2. Triggers can be rewired. Once I realized that my emotional brain was triggering my panic attacks when I went on stage, I made up my mind that I was going to change and rewire those triggers. I figured that triggers are still going to happen, but instead of just letting the triggers automatically go to the emotional or fear part of my brain, I needed to pre-plan how I would deal with it when it happened. So to do that, I just needed to use my rational brain to help me problem solve. Remember when I said that the rational brain is the most powerful part of your brain? Well, it's true, but like a linebacker with 400 pounds of muscle, it's slow. Compared to your reptile and emotional brains, your rational brain is 3 seconds slower to react. So, knowing that, it's important to be mindful of what is happening when you experience a trigger. Being mindful of what is happening to you at any given time and gently leading your thoughts to somewhere else safe and logical is the key. And it turns out that there's a part of your brain that handles mindfulness. It's right here in the front part of your brain between your eyes, in your prefrontal cortex. Here's where things get interesting though. And that brings up aha moment number 3. Aha moment number 3. 2 minutes can change anything. Now that you know that you have 3 brains and that your anxiety triggers can be rewired, how do you do the rewiring? Research shows that mindful meditation is the key. In fact, MRI scans have shown that just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation can reduce the size of your lizard brain, and at the same time, it thickens your prefrontal cortex. In other words, your brain rewires itself. It makes your fight or flight response weaker and makes your ability to deal with it in a thoughtful and meaningful way stronger. Isn't that something? And here's the best part. Mindfulness meditation takes only about 2 minutes a day. Yeah, and in as little as 2 minutes a day, you have the ability to start rewiring your brain to help you get rid of your crushing anxiety forever. It's the easiest practice you'll ever do. Just sit comfortably in a quiet room, close your eyes, and count your breaths from 1 to 10. Your breath in is 1, and your breath out is 2, and so on. Now, here's the mindfulness part. When you find your mind wandering, and it will, just gently bring it back to counting your breaths. That gentle reminder, in conjunction with the concentration of counting your breaths, will rewire your brain to get better at recognizing and shutting down your anxiety. The more you practice mindfulness meditation, the better you get at it. Try doing it for maybe 5 minutes and maybe work your way up from there. Adrian Tarrin, a researcher who studied mindfulness at the University of Pittsburgh, said that mindfulness practice increases one's ability to recruit higher order prefrontal cortex regions in order to down-regulate lower order brain activity. In other words, mindfulness meditation puts your strong, powerful, rational brain in control of how you deal with anxiety when your lizard brain triggers it. Like I said at the beginning of this video, anxiety is no fun. But now that I know that I have 3 brains that can be rewired by simply counting my breaths, this has been a life changer. And I hope it can help you tame your mind too. From firsthand experience, I can tell you that I feel like a whole new person now when I deal with anxiety. And now, before I go on stage to sing, I just simply take 2 minutes to count my breath. And my time on stage is pure joy.